Hey, what's going on, guys? This is an update video on Yieldmax's most recent fund that they released, ticker symbol BIGY, and specifically they're in the category of Target 12 ETF. So this is the only fund that they have so far, but I imagine there's going to be some additional ones that they roll out that are more of like sector based, or it could be mid cap or small cap. But needless to say, they released their distribution schedule, and that's kind of what I wanted to look at today. So typically, Yieldmax releases pretty much their declaration date is every Wednesday. Depending on what week of the month it is, but pretty much it's every Wednesday, and then the X date is every Thursday, and then the payment is every Friday. However, with this schedule, it looks like they rolled it back one day. So the declaration date, January 7th, is going to be a Tuesday, and then the X dividend date is going to be on a Wednesday, and then their payment dates are actually going to be on the Thursday. So it looks like they're going to try to, advertise this fund as something that you can combine with their other Yieldmax funds. Their other ones down here, Group A, B, and C. Let's kind of see. Yeah. So they pay on Friday. These Group A, B, C, and D, and their weekly ones, whereas this one pays every Thursday. So I imagine they decided on that because, like I mentioned, they're going to try to advertise these funds that it's something you can do in conjunction with, their other funds. So it's a different day of the week. I know there was a big change recently. It used to be monthly. All these funds were monthly, but they did just recently change it to where it's pretty much weekly. Each individual fund continues to pay monthly, but you can break it up and buy one of each of these funds and pretty much get a payment every single Friday. I think that was some really big innovation. Roundhill and some of the other funds had kind of already rolled out that feature, so it's something that they kind of came out with to kind of compete with those other funds that were paying weekly versus monthly. But overall, I think it was probably a great move for them. They still are able to pay these funds once a month, but since it's broken up, it's on a different schedule. So that's kind of the idea there. But coming back to BIGY and specifically their Target 12 ETFs, that's the big announcement I kind of want to talk about. They're paying every Thursday instead of the typical Friday like the other funds. So just keep that in mind. The first payment date is not going to be until January 9th. So also just keep that in mind. They did just come out. When did they release officially? I know it was this week. BIGY. Yeah, okay. So here it is. Look at this fund. They don't have a distribution rate, but it's going to be roughly around 12%. That's what they're going to shoot for. I think it was down here. It said November. Yeah, so November 20th was their inception date. So if you haven't seen this fund yet, it's now listed on most stock, if not all, market exchanges with ticker symbol BIGY. Something different with this fund as well. They started at 50 versus their other funds. I think their other funds started at 20. If I'm wrong, just let me know about that. But yeah, I think this is something that Jay, pretty much their fund manager or owner, kind of wanted to do with some of their other funds. Hindsight, he kind of wishes he would have done that. But so going forward, it looks like all their new funds are going to be trying to be released at that $50 level. But yeah, other than that, not too much. Definitely go check out this fund. It is kind of expensive, kind of how all their funds are. They're pretty expensive, but you have to understand the work that they're doing. It's not just like they're buying companies. They are actively selling calls. So the difference with this fund, though, they are buying shares of the company. And something that I noticed the other day as well, which was kind of interesting, they're selling, these 18 covered calls here. So they purchased it. I'm not sure. It doesn't really show what they purchased it for. But, they have 1,896 shares of Apple. So they sold 18 covered calls. Looks like they're about to be able to jump up to 19 covered calls. But then they also purchased this way out of the money. Looks like a lotto, just a naked call. And that's probably because, so what did they sell? What strike did they sell this? They said 12, 22. So 220 covered call. Okay. Or no, I'm sorry, 232 covered call, expiring on December 20th. So looks like they're taking some of their premium or some of their income that they generated, and they're also purchasing call options out of the money. So this is pretty interesting. You know, the thing with selling covered call is that you're capping your upside. You know, you're capping at 232.5. But what Yieldmax is doing, they're taking, you know, obviously not all of the premium they generated, but definitely some of it, and they are buying pretty much lotto plays. And, you know, not lotto plays, but this far out of the money, the percentage of it being in the money is less likely. But you know, they still are appreciating on some of the upside there. So that's pretty interesting. I wasn't aware that they were going to do that, but it looks like they're doing that with all of their funds. So these are some of the holdings that they have here. So it's like Apple, AbbVie, Abbott, Adobe. You know, these are all large cap companies. Looks like they don't have enough shares of Adobe yet, so they're not selling calls on that fund, or they're not selling any covered calls on Abbott either. But they are selling some on AbbVie at the 172.5. But yeah, pretty cool though. It looks like they did. So this is a monthly expiration date. So it looks like they just sold it, you know, a monthly contract. But pretty cool there. I'm not going to go through all their holdings, but these are some of the ones they have listed on their website. And just remember, they are targeting, you know, 50 large cap stocks that they may or may not sell call options on all of them. But you know, pretty cool though that they are implementing a, you know, this different strategy here. So yes, you are capping your upside and generating income from it, but they're also, you know, buying some delta here with these long calls as well. So pretty interesting. Haven't really ever seen that strategy before. It's something I've kind of done before, like just personally, like I'll buy 100 shares and sometimes I'll sell a call spread if or you know, sometimes I'll sell a call spread naked and not have the shares, but then if, you know, the underlying gets close to that strike, then I'll buy 100 shares and then, you know, kind of navigate it that way. So I have used it a little bit before doing like a spread, but this is a pretty wide spread, right? So 232 to 245. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Kind of wanted to just talk about their payment schedule because I wasn't familiar with that. And it does look like they're going to be paying every Thursday instead of Friday. So I thought that was pretty cool. Something that they're rolling out to try to incentivize people to buy these funds in conjunction with their other funds. But needless to say, yeah. So that's it. I don't know when they release this, but you can go check it out on their website. Looks like they're going to be issuing the declaration date of every Tuesday, ex-dividend date is every Wednesday, and payment date is every Thursday. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. Please like, subscribe down below.